Why do so many seniors wish they could take back certain things they shared openly with family and friends? I'm revealing the 4 specific pieces of information that research shows seniors almost universally regret sharing. And more importantly, how protecting these secrets leads to dramatically more peace, better relationships, and preserved independence after 65. These aren't trivial matters of gossip or small talk. These are fundamental boundaries that protect your autonomy, your relationships, and your quality of life in ways you might not realize until it's too late. The third secret is the most surprising one, and it seems completely harmless to share. But elder care psychologists and family therapists consistently warn it's the single disclosure that most often leads to serious family conflict and rapid loss of autonomy. My friend Maxine, who's 72, openly shared detailed financial information with her adult children during a family dinner, thinking complete transparency would prevent future problems and misunderstandings. Within 6 months, her relationships with her kids became strained, with unspoken expectations hanging over every interaction. Family gatherings turned tense, and she deeply regretted her openness. She learned the hard way that some information, even when shared with good intentions, creates far more problems than it could ever solve. Secret 1. Your complete financial situation and asset details. Never share the full details of your savings, assets, investments, or planned inheritance distribution with anyone, including your adult children or other family members. This isn't about being secretive or dishonest. It's about protecting relationships from the corrosive effects that detailed financial knowledge invariably creates. Financial gerontology research from Texas Tech University and comprehensive studies published in the Journal of Financial Planning have documented a clear pattern. When seniors disclose detailed financial information to family members, it leads directly to increased family conflict, subtle and overt manipulation, fundamentally changed relationship dynamics, premature expectations about inheritance that poison current interactions, and progressive loss of financial autonomy through unwanted help and interference. The research shows this pattern holds true regardless of family size, closeness, or previous relationship quality. Understanding the distinction between appropriate and inappropriate financial disclosure is crucial. You can and should discuss your general financial security in broad terms when it's relevant. Phrases like, "I'm financially comfortable for my needs," "I'm managing well," or "my situation is secure," provide necessary reassurance without specific details. What you should never share are specific numbers including account balances, total net worth, the value of your home or other assets, details about investment portfolios, or any itemized breakdown of what you own. You also should never disclose your planned estate distribution, which assets go to which people, or your reasoning behind financial decisions. These details transform relationships in ways that cannot be undone once the information is out there. When you share detailed financial information, adult children and other relatives unconsciously or consciously change their behavior based on their expectations about future inheritance or current access to resources. Family dynamics shift from genuine care and affection to financial interest and calculation, even among people with the best intentions who would be horrified to think they're being influenced by money. Subtle and sometimes direct pressure for loans, gifts, early inheritance, or investment in family members' business ventures increases steadily. Your vulnerability to financial exploitation rises dramatically because more people know exactly what you have and where it is. Most damaging of all, you experience progressive loss of respect and autonomy as family members begin to see you as a financial resource to be managed rather than an independent adult. Willis, who's 70, shared his complete financial picture at a family dinner, thinking it would prevent future disputes, and within months he faced constant requests for loans and subtle pressure to help with various financial needs that damaged every family relationship. The solution requires establishing and maintaining firm boundaries, starting immediately. When asked direct questions about your finances by family members, use these specific phrases consistently. I'm financially secure for my needs and my future is planned. Or, I'm managing my finances well with professional help. Or simply, my financial situation is private and handled appropriately. Be polite but completely firm in refusing to provide specific numbers, account details, asset inventories, or inheritance plans, no matter how the question is framed or how much pressure is applied. If family members persist or express hurt feelings about your privacy, explain once that healthy boundaries protect relationships and that your financial details are managed professionally and appropriately. Then refuse to discuss it further. What people don't know cannot damage your relationships or compromise your autonomy. Protect your financial privacy, starting today. Secret 2. Every health diagnosis, symptom, and medical detail sharing. Every health concern, medical diagnosis, test result, and physical symptom with family members and friends often leads directly to unwanted interference, premature loss of independence, and being treated as far more fragile and incapable than you actually are. This is a delicate balance because serious health issues requiring support and assistance should absolutely be shared with appropriate family members on a need-to-know basis. However, broadcasting every minor ailment, every doctor's appointment, every test result, and every age-related change creates significant problems. Johns Hopkins research on aging and autonomy, combined with multiple studies published in the Gerontologist Journal, document that over-disclosure of health information leads to family members infantilizing seniors and treating them like children. Premature loss of autonomy and decision-making power, increased anxiety in family relationships as everyone constantly worries, being excluded from activities and decisions for your own good, and others making medical and life decisions without your consent or input. The psychological impact of constant health disclosure transforms how others perceive and interact with you in profound ways. When family members know about every ache, pain, elevated test result, or minor diagnosis, they stop seeing you as a capable, independent adult and increasingly view you through the lens of your medical conditions. Their genuine concern, while well-intentioned, manifests as overprotectiveness and controlling behavior that strips away your independence piece by piece. Conversations become dominated by health talk, with every interaction turning into an interrogation about symptoms, medications, and doctor visits. Your identity within the family transforms from being a fully realized person with interests, wisdom, and capabilities into being the sick one who needs constant monitoring and protection. If you continue sharing every health detail, your independence erodes steadily as family members begin making decisions on your behalf, supposedly for your safety and well-being. Social invitations decrease as people assume you're too fragile or unwell to participate in normal activities and events. You get excluded from family decisions and discussions because others decide you shouldn't be stressed or burdened. Most insidiously, family members start speaking about you rather than to you in medical settings and other important situations, treating you as incapable of managing your own health and making your own informed decisions. Ramona, who's 68, mentioned to her daughter during a casual phone call that her doctor said her blood pressure was slightly elevated and they were monitoring it. And suddenly, she faced constant unsolicited health advice, surprise visits to check on her, and being treated like she was on the verge of a stroke, despite being perfectly healthy and active. The solution requires selective, strategic sharing of health information based on actual need for support, rather than automatic disclosure of every medical detail. Share major health issues that genuinely require assistance, support, or coordination of care with the specific family members who need to know and can actually help. Keep minor health issues, routine test results, common age-related symptoms, and general medical maintenance completely private, unless there's a concrete reason someone needs that information. When family members or friends ask about your health in casual conversation, respond with simple, positive statements like, "I'm doing well, thanks for asking," or "I'm managing everything fine," or "Everything is under control." Reserve detailed health information for your doctors and medical team who actually need it. Guard your health privacy carefully because you deserve to be seen as a whole, capable person, not defined solely by your medical conditions. Secret 3. Your inheritance plans and estate distribution. Discussing in advance who gets what in your will, trust, or estate plan is the single fastest way to destroy family harmony and poison relationships during your remaining years. This is the most surprising secret to many people because conventional wisdom often suggests that transparency about estate plans prevents future disputes and helps families prepare. However, decades of estate planning research from Cornell University, combined with extensive studies from American Bar Association elder law sections, consistently demonstrate the opposite. Advanced disclosure of inheritance plans leads to immediate family conflict and resentment, relationships becoming transactional rather than genuine, profound hurt feelings from perceived unfairness or favoritism, intense pressure on you to change your plans, and paradoxically, estate contests and family disputes after your death actually increase rather than decrease when plans were disclosed in advance. The research on this is remarkably consistent across all demographic groups, family sizes, and economic levels. Additional psychological research from the University of Minnesota on family systems explains why inheritance discussions are so damaging. When adult children learn about estate distributions while parents are still alive, it activates deep-seated sibling rivalry patterns from childhood, triggers competitive behaviors as siblings compare what they're receiving, and creates or reinforces feelings of favoritism that damage relationships with both parents and siblings irreparably. Even when distributions are completely equal, knowledge of the plans changes family dynamics in destructive ways. Adult children who feel they're receiving less than siblings or less than they deserve often emotionally distance themselves or reduce contact with aging parents, sometimes unconsciously and sometimes deliberately. Conversely, those expecting larger inheritances may suddenly become more attentive and involved. But this increased attention is tainted by financial motivation rather than genuine care. And everyone involved feels the falseness of it, even if it's never acknowledged openly. When you disclose your estate plans, adult children inevitably compare and compete, even if they were never competitive before, and this comparison poisons current relationships during the precious time you have remaining together. Hurt feelings about perceived unfairness or unequal treatment destroy the peace and harmony of family gatherings and daily interactions. You face constant, subtle, and overt pressure to change your estate plans, with family members lobbying for different distributions or questioning your reasoning and judgment. Some family members distance themselves emotionally or reduce contact if they're disappointed by your plans, while others increase their attention in ways that feel manipulative and self-serving rather than genuinely caring. Most tragically, you lose peace and joy during your remaining years as family relationships become overshadowed by inheritance expectations and financial calculations. Clifford, who's 74, revealed his complete estate plan during Thanksgiving dinner, thinking transparency would prevent future fighting, and his 3 adult children haven't spoken civilly to each other or to him since that day. The solution is absolute. Keep your inheritance plans and estate distribution completely confidential, with only your attorney, estate planner, or financial advisor knowing the details. When family members ask directly about your estate plans or who's getting what, which they almost certainly will at some point, use this specific response. My estate is handled legally and fairly with professional guidance, and the details will be revealed at the appropriate time after I'm gone. If they press further or express hurt about your privacy, add, "I love you all, and my decisions are made thoughtfully, but discussing this now would only create problems. Please respect my decision to keep this private." Then refuse absolutely all further discussion about specific plans, reasoning, or distributions, no matter how the conversation is framed. Your relationships right now, during your life, should be about the present moment, about love and connection, not about future inheritance. Keep your estate plans completely private and let your relationships breathe freely without the poison of financial expectations. Secret 4. Your deep fears, vulnerabilities, and regrets. Sharing your deepest fears about aging, death, declining health, or profound regrets about your past often backfires dramatically and permanently changes how others see and treat you in ways that diminish your authority and autonomy. Research from Yale University on aging stereotypes and multiple studies from the University of California system on elder respect demonstrate that expressing significant fears and vulnerabilities to the wrong people leads to rapid loss of respect and authority in family relationships, others making important decisions for you without consultation because they think you're too fragile or incompetent. Being dismissed or patronized in conversations and decision-making, increased anxiety in relationships as your expressed fears are repeatedly referenced and become your defining characteristic, and your vulnerabilities becoming weaponized information during family conflicts and disagreements. It's crucial to understand the important distinction here. Sharing feelings with a trusted therapist, professional counselor, or very carefully selected confidant is healthy and appropriate. Broadcasting vulnerabilities widely or to people who might use them against you, even unintentionally, is psychologically and practically damaging. The psychological mechanism behind this damage is straightforward but powerful. When you express deep fears to family members, particularly fears about losing independence, cognitive decline, serious health issues, or death, those family members begin filtering every subsequent interaction through the lens of your expressed vulnerability. A normal memory lapse that happens to everyone becomes evidence of the cognitive decline you expressed fear about. A minor physical limitation becomes proof that you can no longer live independently. Your expressed fears become a self-fulfilling prophecy, as others treat you as though your fears have already materialized, and this treatment actually accelerates the very decline you were worried about. Your family starts making decisions based on what they think you need, rather than what you actually need, and they justify this controlling behavior by referencing your own expressed fears and vulnerabilities. If you continue sharing fears and deep regrets widely, family members use your expressed fears to justify increasingly controlling behavior, telling you that they're just protecting you from what you said you were afraid of. Your vulnerabilities become your defining characteristic within family relationships, overshadowing everything else about who you are and what you've accomplished. Conversations become pitying rather than respectful, with others speaking to you as though you're fragile and need careful handling. Your authority and respect within the family evaporate as others see you primarily through your fears rather than your strengths. During conflicts or disagreements, family members bring up your regrets or vulnerabilities to dismiss your opinions or justify their decisions. Sylvia, who's 71, expressed to her son during an emotional conversation that she feared developing dementia like her mother did. And from that point forward, he treated every normal memory lapse as a warning sign and began pushing her to give up her independence and move into assisted living, despite her being perfectly healthy and sharp. The solution requires identifying one or possibly two truly trustworthy confidants for deep emotional sharing while maintaining appropriate boundaries with everyone else. Your confidant might be a professional therapist or counselor, a lifelong friend who has proven their trustworthiness over decades, or a spiritual advisor like a pastor or rabbi. These should be people who have absolutely no financial interest in your situation and who have demonstrated through consistent behavior that they can hold confidential information without using it against you or sharing it with others. With everyone else in your life, including most family members, maintain appropriate boundaries about fears and regrets. Project strength, capability, and confidence in your interactions, even when you're struggling internally. This isn't about being dishonest. It's about strategic sharing that protects your autonomy and the respect others have for you. Share vulnerabilities only with those very few people who have completely earned that level of trust through years of demonstrated loyalty and discretion. Healthy boundaries and selective sharing aren't about being secretive, dishonest, or isolated from the people who care about you. These protective practices are about wisdom gained from life experience and from watching what happens when others overshare. Privacy in these 4 critical areas protects what matters most in your later years: your peace of mind, your independence and autonomy, and your genuine relationships that remain untainted by financial expectations, medical monitoring, inheritance calculations, or pity. When you protect these 4 secrets appropriately, your relationships can be based on who you are right now, not on what people expect to get from you, how sick they think you are, or how they can manage your vulnerabilities. Which of these 4 secrets have you already learned through experience to keep private? Which one surprised you most to see on this list? Drop a comment right now and share your wisdom, because your experience could help another senior avoid making the same mistake you might have made. Have you regretted oversharing any of these 4 areas? Your honest experience matters and helps build collective wisdom. Hit that like button if this resonates with your experience. And please share this video with other seniors who might benefit from understanding these crucial boundaries before they learn the hard way. Subscribe to this channel because I'm sharing the real-life wisdom that comes from experience and research, not just theory or what sounds nice.